Hi, welcome to Blindside Movie Reviews on Gardner Webb University Radio. We talk movies every single week. I'm Noel T. Manning II. That is Jay Forry. Jay is the original blind movie critic. He and I are both members of the Broadcast Film Critics Association. We had our Critics' Choice Awards earlier in the year, back in December. Was it December? Yeah, and then the Golden Globes, of course, recently as well. So it is award season. We're smack dab in the middle of it. And the movie we're going to talk about today, Jay, Patriots Day, is one that will not, they did try to push it for some awards. It's not going to happen, but I tell you, it is on my list as one of the best films of the year for me. So you already know as a listener how I feel about this film before I even talk about it. But hey, Jay, how are you, man?
I'm doing just great. This time of year, tons of good movies to see. And no, the great thing is, we don't have to go to the movies. Same we just pop them into our player, and so it's great. But as I told you, I'm going to have to start going to my screenings. It looks like next week. It looks like we ran out here.
Yeah, they did. They really took care of us back in November and December, with just bombarding us with films, and we had to do triage to check these all out. But Patriots Day, they did set up some screenings for this as well, and I got a chance to. I've seen it twice, so I got a chance to go see it in the theater. And then watched it at home as well. And this movie is based on a true story, based on the April 15th, 2013 bombing that took place at the Boston Marathon. And the film itself follows the story of the investigation. You get to see all aspects of what happened, how it happened, not just from the investigator's standpoint, but also the brothers who were later found out to be the bombers themselves. You get to see their lives as well. An incredible cast in this, directed by Peter Berg, who also brought Deepwater Horizon to the screen recently with Mark Wahlberg starring in that, and he stars in this. J.K. Simmons is in this, John Goodman, Kevin Bacon, Michelle Moynihan also. A really impressive feat to take something from reality and try to bring it back into real life and recreate it and let people see it on the screen and see some different aspects of it. This year we've seen quite a few. I say this year, 2016, Jay, we saw quite a few movies based on true stories. I think about Sully, I think back about Deepwater Horizon, and then this one as well. And all three of those were done incredibly well from my standpoint.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like these films that are based on a true story. And honestly, that's the one thing I liked about this film the best. It's powerful. Be quite honestly, I liked all the different characters. It shows Kevin Bacon as the FBI agent. It shows everything. And it's really almost like character-driven. It's all about. But the one thing I liked the best was the two bad guys and the two terrorists. I like it. Kind of shows the best that they can their thoughts on how and why they did it, what happened, what they're thinking. Of course you can't go into their thoughts, but I really enjoyed that part. But no, here's what I'm going to tell you about the part that I didn't like, and it felt like they tried too hard, too over the top. And this one, they argued about everything. I mean, they took the simplest thing and just raised their voice. It felt to me like, just so I can show my acting, my great acting. I mean, it's like, no, if you and I were talking about a film, and you're going, I'm giving it a B, you're giving it a B plus, and we're arguing about it. Yeah, no, that's a B plus. No, that's a B minus. And I'm thinking that's what this felt like to me.
Okay.
That they're arguing about something that really it was so minor, and I have a hard time believing, and maybe I'm wrong, that actually happened during the Boston bombing. When they're talking about it,
that didn't bother me. To me, it actually felt real. You're seeing the pressure that they're under. You see the tremendous strain that they're all dealing with, and you've got these two bombers on the loose, and there's word that they may be going after additional sites, and you're not sure if there are more bombers, if it's just these two, or if there are more. I think the anxiety and the stress level that was there, to me, it felt very real as I was watching it unfold. So that did not turn me off at all.
And it didn't turn me off. It just felt over the top.
Okay.
And you and I both know that they do that in some movies. They put them a little over the top. I mean, they do that with romance. They do that with drama. They do just really, once again, did they do that here? I don't know. You know, it just felt like it to me, and everybody's different. And
Yeah,
as
exactly.
I'm watching it, I know I got that feeling.
Okay.
But the acting was great, though. And for, even though they did that, I thought the acting was fantastic all the way around.
Yeah, the action was amazing. This is an R rating, and it's an R rating for a reason. It's for language and the violence, because it does show the violence and the aftermath of the violence of what happened during the bombing. And so, don't go into this unprepared. Go into this prepared that, I mean, it was like a war zone. And there are things that many people that will watch this film, they'll go, wow, I had no idea that kind of thing happened. I mean, there is a part of the film that honestly does look like a war zone, where there is a street battle going on with guns and with explosives, and that did happen. The characters, most of the characters are, the lead characters are based on actual real characters, except for Wahlberg's character. Wahlberg's character is kind of a hybrid. He's a combination of several different people who took on that role, but Peter Berg was one of the writers for this piece too, and it was based on a book as well. And they had to have a vehicle to kind of tell the story. And Mark Wahlberg's character as Sergeant Tommy Saunders, he is that person the story is kind of told through his eyes, and told through other eyes as well. You get other perspectives of life, but he is kind of that lead catalyst from the start through the finish. I'll recommend when you watch this film, hang around through the credits, Jay, because you actually get to see interviews with those who were involved in this, including bystanders, including runners, and including those who were involved in the actual investigation as well. Commissioner Ed Davis, played by John Goodman, and FBI Special Agent Richard Deslauriers, Kevin Bacon's character as well.
I want to mention two quick things. One, mention Peter Berg. He was, and I thought he did a great job, and he was the director of one of your favorite action film last year, Deepwater Horizon.
Yep, exactly. He did both of these films, and Mark Wahlberg was in both of those as well.
Yeah.
The movie, to me, was moving. It had so many different layers of what I call very positive filmmaking. Cinematography was great. The sound design was incredible. The music, there was this droning music that went on throughout, and it really did work with this particular film. I did like the acting as well. You and I differ on that just a little bit, but I thought it was a solid film. To me, a solid A for this movie, Patriots Day.
Well, you misunderstood. No, I thought the acting was great. I just thought that part of the I just thought when they wrote it, they put in that overacting,
Gotcha.
not necessarily the character, the actors themselves.
Gotcha.
And you beat me on one thing: the music was totally different, and I caught that right away. And I think that fit the movie. I mean, it made it feel. And I'd use the word powerful.
Yeah.
I thought it was a powerful film. I don't know about moving in my thing. Still, not exactly my favorite film. I gave it a B+. I liked it, but not necessarily my favorite. It's in my top 10, but that's about it.
Yeah, and for me, I'll give you a little baggage for me. My son is a marathon runner, and so for me to watch this film with that in mind and to put myself in the place of, okay, as a parent of someone who runs marathons, how would I react during this event if I was there? And I saw it through a whole different light. I really, really did.
No, I could actually see that. No, I can totally understand with that. Yep.
The movie is in wide release this weekend. It has been in limited release for a couple weeks, and the running time 2 hours 10 minutes long, rated R. Production budget $45 million. So it'll make its money back one way or the other. It's a solid film. Jay and I both recommend it. What is your rating for this?
Yeah, I gave it a B plus rating.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was a good film.
Okay.
Yeah, not as good as you, but
Gotcha.
And I'm gonna argue. Yeah, I'm gonna argue about it. Let's say B plus. So
right.
we're not too far apart.
Okay, B plus for Jay, A for me for Patriots Day in theaters now. Jay's website, blindsidereviews.com. You can always find any of our reviews by going there, or you can also go to wgwg.org. Jay, next week, I'm not sure what we're going to talk about next week. Do you?
I tell you, me neither, because we talked about several of them. I think you said the M. Night Shyamalan split. Is that next week or the week after?
Yeah, that opens next week.
I'm going to have a hard time. No, I'm going to have a hard time watching. It looks like a horror film. I'm not into that type of people chopping each other up and stuff like that.
There is one more I'll recommend that opens, well, we'll talk about. 20th Century Women also opens next weekend in wide release, and that's Annette Bening's film, and Elle Fanning is in that. Also, Billy Crudup from Almost Famous and Greta Gerwig. Those are in that film, 20th Century Women, so that's in wide release next week. So just join us next week, and we'll surprise you.
Exactly.
Jay's website, again, blindsidereviews.com. Until next time, that's Jay Forry. I'm Noel Manning, and this has been Blindside Movie Reviews on Gardner-Webb University Radio, WGWG.org. That's a wrap.